What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. It's Friday. Happy to be here with you all, wherever you are in the world right now. Glad that we're here together. Absolutely love this community. You guys are all amazing. You all brighten my day. Every time the music goes on in the morning when we're getting ready here, it really puts me in a great mood. Even better as we're seeing the markets here continue to rise in a direction that makes us all kind of happy. So let's have some fun today. It's Friday. We get to enjoy the markets over here. So let's get into it. A couple of things to talk about today, a couple of lessons to share. We're definitely going to get, obviously, into Bitcoin and crypto, right? By the way, starting to see not just the high cap alts like Ethereum pump, but also now it's working its way down, seeing a massive rally. Beautiful to see over here. Some people wondering maybe why Bitcoin is going ballistic and gold is not. We'll talk about everything together. Let's start off with Bitcoin, though, okay? Let's start off with Bitcoin. I'm right on the 8-hour chart to start this right here, right now. But I want to come down to this 1 hour just so you could see. Look at these. I have not touched one of our lines over here. And if I go back and I show you, right, this was the first line that we added in. You all know that I cloned these lines and added all these trend lines. And I have further ones on the way up over here so I know what kind of resistance we're targeting. All right. If you look on here at the 1 hour with me, you can see what happened after that last leg up. We touched exactly into our line of resistance right over there. And then came back down and what? Touched that broken resistance into support. Look at this. Came back above it, took out the resistance, and have already come back into it. Bitcoin is trading so volatile right now, so fast. I even saw charts on the 1 minute yesterday that were just, the 1 minute could have been the time frame to be trading. You don't need to do that. You can hang out and have fun and enjoy life and make things a lot easier for yourself and stay on the 8 hour. And probably that's where you'll have a lot more success. But as a trader, it's really, you could be looking at these lower time frames and you could watch the TA playing out perfectly over here. So what do I see on Bitcoin right now? Of course, I see what everyone else sees, that we've broken above this last bit of resistance over here at 1530, right? Not only broken above it so far, coming back in and testing it. What is that? It's nothing more than a consolidation pattern so far, right? Looks very much just like consolidating right above that last bit of resistance. And if we break out over here, we've confirmed it to support. What are we targeting after that? Just going to come up over here, and I have this line over here. I'm going to show you a couple. All right, let me make this a little bit darker. That's coming in this weekend or today. Right now, I can't see that. Why is that US dollar there? Here we go. I can't see what that price is. Maybe I'll try a different time frame then. So this is coming in over here. It's coming in at 16, let's call it 16,750 right over there. Do notice over here that you have that little bit of resistance as well. You could see that better if I was on the 3-day. Here's the 3-day, right? Let me zoom out. You could see all over here, right over here. So that's an area to watch into right now. Is that where I think the move tops out? I think I'm going to speak on the subject, just so you have my opinion, my thoughts. And by the way, above that, it's this one over here. I don't have this one in here. I need to clone this, extend that out because we're going over here. That one looks like it's coinciding right around so far around about $1,000, not 1,000. $2,000 higher at 18,750, right towards the all-time high. All right, so I forgot what I was going to tell you all, but that's all right. Do I think we've gone too high, too far, too quickly? I don't at all. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that because if you remember the tweet I shared with you last week, and it talks about on the monthly time frame, once we make that new all-time high, closing on the monthly, how long it generally takes to make the new all-time high, and it's roughly about 35 days. So you could expect volatility right now to the upside and downside. A lot of traders looking for that 30% pullback. Again, I think we're somewhere between 16 and 18,000 where I could first start looking for that, and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I won't be surprised at anything that happens. It's Bitcoin, but nice to see. Alvaro, what's going on, everyone? It's nice to see, by the way, Ethereum, and not just Ethereum, the rest of these alts, you can see them over here. You see Litecoin up 5.5%, XRP up almost 6%, EOS not doing anything right now. Monero, Chainlink, all really pumping over here. And you can see on Ethereum right now, there's not too much in the room to the upside. I want to get into the equity markets only because they're really interesting right now and they deserve our attention. But here we are right now. You could see this is where we are trading right now into that, call it $445 resistance right here on Ethereum. And above that, we're really targeting up around 500. So I think Bitcoin's having a little bit of a liquidity crisis. There are just very few sellers. So Chainlink, right? We're coming up into an area, by the way, that Chainlink is going to have a little bit of an issue over here. This over here, this area is acting as resistance. You have the horizontal resistance. It's above there where I think the party gets started here, okay? It's above $12.90. Confirming that $13.25 above this region over here, back above into that channel, but most importantly, back above that horizontal resistance between $12.90 and $13.25. That's when Chainlink could be visiting its new, not only yearly, but all-time high once again. Let's go back into look at the equity markets over here, and I just want to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to also come down to a lower time frame first, just so you get a clean look at what happened. You can see the resistance held, right? And then not only did the resistance hold, it came right back down into our what? Trend line, and it held as support, and we're coming up again right now. Now, as we talk about equity markets, it gets a little more complicated because, well, we're going into the weekend of what looks like we're going to have the election claimed by at least the networks and probably by the Biden, well, the Biden campaign is already, they're certain this whole time they've been certain that they're going to win, right? That's the verbiage they use, that we're confident that we will win, or so I don't think. I mean, I know that the other side is actually challenging a lot of these these swing states. And I don't think there's a clear winner over the weekend. This thing could turn, I'd say, rather nasty. And as Heath brought up, it is non-farm payroll. I don't really think the markets are really focused in on that right now. But nevertheless, we'll check in with the print. I guess what I'm trying to say to you and to myself right now, if this wasn't a Friday morning, this looks like a really beautiful setup here to the upside, in the fact that we want to break out above it. Now, the easy trade is going to be above it and then pull back and then resumption, whatever that winds up looking like. However, when you get the move into the resistance, and then you see that, like, that first area of support holding, this is also a nice entry. This is the entry that has no name right up there coming up, right? And above the resistance, like, but do you want to do that right now? Do you want to do that, first of all, Friday morning? And do you want to do that going into a weekend when the markets are closed and this thing could either gap up or down? Obviously, no one does want to take that type of risk, right? Nevertheless, it's very interesting to watch what is happening over here and what continues to play out. So there's no FOMO in the fact that if this does break out, this could even get going pretty quickly. The all-time high is not too far off, and we said once we break out above there. Nevertheless, there's just no reason to FOMO. All right, much better taking a position next week after the weekend, in my opinion, when things are clearer. If we get more further confirmation, and a similar situation is occurring right here on the Nasdaq. Similar situation. If I extend this trend line over here, right, you can see that. That's what held that trend line again. It was the move into the resistance. We were looking at this yesterday saying that it was a little bit above the trend line. Do you remember yesterday morning? And you could see how you protect yourself. There's never even an entry. Not that we also said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it went to 9 up price bars in a row. Obviously, you're not looking to take an entry like that ever, because that's chasing momentum. But you would have been protected anyway. You never made a higher high. Since then, you've come back down into that trend line. And again, is that an entry here? I mean, it looks like a good one if that were to occur. But being that it's Friday, you have to be aware of your surroundings. There's just simply no trade. And there's going to be another one. The market's always going to be there. The market's always going to be there. So it's not a problem. Let's look at the, good morning, everyone. Let's look at the, you want to see the Dow and the Russell? We could check in on them, no problem. So, wow, look at that, just like insanity. But there's a good reason for it, right? This was going into the election. Market's always front running, right? So this was actually sell the news type event, because it was what the market was worried about. It is a contested election, and it's not to say that the market is going to continue this gravy train that it's on right now. Things could change quickly. So especially if, right, played out in your head, what happens if today actually Biden does claim victory, and then, Trump is clearly like, how could, this is being contested in the courts right now. So it could get ugly over the weekend. Nevertheless, the market, you have to pay attention to what it's been doing, and it really has been climbing this huge wall of worry. All right. But the Dow, there's nothing, right? When I say there's nothing, like, you're back into this area over here. You got a lot of overhead resistance right over here. So the Dow's like, you're in no man's land. It's not, that's it. You're just in no man's land. With the Russell, right? Russell, wow. I mean, as you all know, for the last 2 days, the S&P and the Nasdaq are kind of clean. And I like things that are clean. That's where I am focused personally. What's going on with the Russell, by the way? Is this a possibly? No, right? I'm trying to see if that was like a possible ascending wedge, but it's not. It looks like the Russell, making new swing highs. Not healthy right now. Is it a matter of time before we get over this last yearly high over here? Maybe. You know, if that happens, I don't know. I like the S&P and I like the Nasdaq right now. They just look very clean. Let's look at the dollar, then we'll go to gold and silver. The dollar over here, obviously all of us have a fantastic read ever since we closed back down into the below that trend line over there. Went from, right, long time dollar bear, long time, back in March up until October, the end of October, dollar bull, flip back bearish on the dollar after it closed back inside that trend line over here. Everyone right now should have the same position. Could this change? Yeah, well, it looks like it's resuming downwards, by the way, taking out that support at 92.50 we looked at yesterday. Just want to go down to a lower time frame. You even get a better look. The markets have been moving so volatile that you're seeing me look at lower time frames than normal. It's not that I'm trying to get you to trade off them. I'm absolutely not. I'm just trying to show you what the structure looks like because it's playing out a lot quicker right now. You can see the bounce off the support over there and then just the breakthrough, the resumption down. What are we targeting next now on the DXY? And it's going to be down over here. It's going to be this trend line over here. This is now support. So I'm just going to extend that like that, right? And then you're going to, if you coming into that, by the way, that's just at the what? That's just at the yearly low. So you could say that it's mild support right now. Coming into that though, obviously there's a decent probability we take that out, no question about it. So where would that leave us? We're targeting down over here next 90.83, and then below that 88.40. Are those things possible? They are very possible right now as we continue to break down and now coming down to test the yearly low. Just keep in mind, not out of the woods by any means. It's Friday, going into a weekend with a lot of really some big moving pieces going on. This should now be resistance on the way up. Any bounce over here and test of this, if that holds as resistance, that also would be some nice type of confirmation. Gold has really gotten away. Thank you, for real. But when I'm here presenting, instead of doing it nice and neat, I just go for what is quick. But thank you. Is there no big I mean, Logan, I don't know. The Senate majority leader did say that he's willing to compromise on stimulus. That was the day of the election night or the next day. Ever since then, we've seen big moves in the metals. Boom, 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 boom. So gold, it's really just getting away over here, right, to the upside with some powerful moves. You could see once 1914 was the line I was watching, right, for a confirmation of a technical break to the upside. 1930 was the next level we needed to get through to really confirm the move. It's well confirmed now. You could see once 1930 broke, you came back, you came in for a retest, you're already resuming off. So you have 1976 resistance above you. You don't, right here in no man's land. If you're not into gold, you don't chase gold now, right? Just wait. Just wait. This is what you were looking for. You're looking for like confirmation. Now you have confirmation that gold is breaking out to the upside, right? Now is like when the sweet spot of the trades develop. Now is when you're looking for any pullbacks into support, resumptions off of to buy in the direction where you have like this whole current pushing you, right? This is, so a lot of people are like, oh, I missed it. Get in here, right, as you come into the resistance, and then there's a pullback, a normal pullback, which you could even come back down into that trend line. You could come back to 1930 once again, or even 1914. They get out of the trade, resuming up. This should be like easier time to get involved now as we are entering this new trend. This new trend is starting after a big technical break. All that was noise that we tried our best to stay out of, with the exception of trying to go long over here, right? And here you are again. But I mean, a pullback to where? Well, you had the one already. We had once we broke 1930, we had a pullback, a retest of the broken resistance, and then a resumption off. That was number one. You don't buy over here coming into resistance after this upwards impulse. You're waiting, right? And a couple of things could happen. We could come into this resistance and be rejected by it, and who knows where we pull back to. Or we could break above 1976. If you break above 1976, then you're waiting for that to be retested and confirmed before getting long. There's not like it's better getting wrong. It's better getting long the more the technicals improve on the instrument you're trading, rather than trying to get in like lower. So, Jordan, what do you think? Sell 30% into resistance. Oh, if you're long gold here, all right. Well, that's a good question. I think 30. I don't know. My opinion on gold is this: that look, I'm watching how everything is reacting to what's going on. It's kind of strange to see the equity markets, pumping on a contested election and gridlock in the between the Senate. Well, we don't even know who won the Senate yet, do we? I guess it could still go either way. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of unclarity of what's going on over here, and I'm just watching how everything is reacting. Do you want to take a decent amount off, which is 30%, right? 30% is forget when I took the 40% off Bitcoin. That was a different situation, off a huge move. I guess I think that this move is just getting started on gold. I wouldn't be looking to take 30% off, not even close. So I think the move's getting started on gold. Now, you do need to break 1976 for the next bit of confirmation. We break 1976, look, eventually and soon enough, the conversation is going to turn back towards the details on the stimulus. The whole time they're just working out details. Like if no package is passed to February, that's 2 months of the market kind of like has the carrot before its nose of stimulus, right? So, and no one knows what it's going to be, and it looks like it's going to be more since they're willing to compromise than the lowest package. So the market is responding like it likes that right now. I think that the move's just getting started over here. I think that gold is, on a trajectory to break this little yearly high over here. So how soon and how that plays out, I don't know. And obviously, again, expect not only a pullback right now on gold at any time, back once again, this was one little retest, but it could come back and test this easily, 1930. It could easily test 1914 again, and then you have this trend line over here. So all those things are definitely in play, and I would expect any one of them. So silver also, right? This was one of the things that you don't get the chance. I was watching at least the breakout of this trend line on silver for the first time ever since this breakdown over here to look to go long on silver, and broke out and shut off right into the resistance hard and fast. Look, even above 26, we followed that line for a while in the past. Even above 26, that's a beautiful entry. That looks like you're going to be looking at testing the yearly high on silver, and or we're looking for higher highs. I mean, we're in a bull market. That's the bottom line on precious metals, and I'm just talking about gold and silver. Actually, we've been talking about how fundamentally we're in a bull market, which obviously looking to take out these last yearly highs on both gold and silver, gold new all-time highs. But now we have a technical bullish breakout. So now you have the fundamentals lined up with the technicals, and the move is just starting. So if you got yourself into a good entry over here, you got to push your winners. You don't want to be like, you got the fundamentals lined up with the technicals. This is what it's all about. This is what you're doing. So if Biden's confirmed from the win, do you think the U.S. dollar will keep going down against gold, Bitcoin, and other currencies, or are they just temporary refuge moves to defend us? Look, I don't know I don't know the soonest what type of timeline we'd be looked at having any type of confirmation. It's too fuzzy for me. I mean, So are we talking about November 10th is when Nevada would be finished counting? Are we going to have a recount in Georgia? I don't know what's going on. It's a little difficult to keep up with. So that's a little difficult to time. All I could say is going into a weekend with all of this uncertainty. And by the way, just like heads up for you all, like TV networks calling the election today is not, doesn't mean that the candidate they're calling for a wins. Like votes are being counted, states declare the winners, and that's how it works. So I don't know, and it also depends on what happens with the Senate right now. 256 likes. If you're here on a Friday, if you're enjoying the session, and I know I am, go ahead and please show your support. The thumbs up, why it seems simple to you, really does, let me know that you enjoy being here, and also helps with the Google algorithm. So it's us versus Google. Wow. That would be an interesting turn of events if Trump were to concede without a fight, understanding that, I think from his perspective, he won in a landslide. I think that he won in a landslide. He seems like a guy that is all about, justice and fairness. So I would be surprised if that were to happen. I would not expect that to happen at all. Thanks everyone for smashing those like buttons, right? Jack, would you short the Nasdaq? So would you short the Nasdaq? What? So absolutely not. Like, and why would I say that? Well, first of all, where you're in an uptrend, this is a consolidation pattern that you are looking for a continuation of the trend, a break to the upside. Now, if you broke to the downside, it's a clear signal of a breakdown. That's easy peasy, right? But would you sell over here? I mean, absolutely not. You have the retest into the move into the resistance, then the bounce off support, and now resuming off of that. That's well, this is the entry that has no name, but absolutely not. You would not sell that whatsoever. If it's much easier to look at the chart, because the question is, by the way, like, do you sell resistance? Like, would you sell a rejection of that? With the momentum going up, that would be very risky in any market. When the momentum is so strong, either up or down, trying to fade the top of that move, that if you sometimes you get lucky in a market and then it goes down really quick and you feel really good. But generally speaking, trading like that is just a sure way to lose money over time. Don't do that. Zachary, if you log in there's a menu on the left and it says manage your account. You could just upgrade to the yearly, and then also on that page you'll see it'll say just send me an email, and it says if you're upgrading, your last monthly payment will be refunded. So do both those things. Just go to where it says manage your account. You could upgrade to the yearly over there, and then just send me a quick email, or if you have any problems. So Tesla, let's look at Tesla. You know why? Because it's Friday. The markets are flying, right? Looks like Tesla's coming to some resistance, though. Let's look on the 3-day. A lot of people, by the way, I think it's just like wired into our human psychology for whatever reason. But a lot of people, for whatever reason, especially the equity markets, are are always, they're looking for the short side, and the long side is just so much easier. You can make many more mistakes on the long side, and they're a lot more forgiven. Here you see on Tesla over here, you're coming into this area of resistance, right? How big is it? What it means? Those are other questions I don't know. Look, we've been looking at a lot of charts. We always look at a lot of charts. Does this seem like a chart that you want to be involved with? right now. I'll go to the daily time frame. Let me see if that I mean, not really, right? For me, at least. Is this line over here? If we move that up over there, is that also maybe I don't know. It's very difficult, you know, and I don't like that. So, by the way, for real, my view on Tesla is, instead of trying to trade it, that's an asymmetrical bet. Like, if you believe Tesla is going to succeed, then you're holding Tesla for the next 10, 20 years. You know. So anyway, it doesn't look like such a good chart right now. Markets, this is very true. That markets, there's the expression, it takes the staircase up and the elevator down. And that's very true that markets generally go like this. And then when they fall, it's more like that. However, this occurs way more percentage of the time than this, right? So, and if you look, for example, I mean, just really quick, just to give you that perspective, if you're looking at the S&P 500 and you go back, these events do occur. Even a small one over here. These events occur, but most of the time it's this. And when markets are selling off, by the way, it's very easy. It's very, very easy. I was just, for a long time, would not even touch the S&P up until here. And then, I mean, riding it down that's very easy. It just doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen often. Square just released their quarterly earnings, which I think were like, I don't know, I didn't see them. I think it was $1.3 billion. I mean, they're selling Bitcoin. There were some issues, by the way, those that use the Cash app. It's on Twitter. I haven't caught up with it in about 4 days, but Square had basically confiscated someone's account for how they were spending their Bitcoin. And it's unknown why, whether or not they're using coin drones or anything like that. The guys over at Tales from the Crypt, who Cash App sponsors their podcast, I know that they were looking into that. But just a caution, obviously, about that. Just a caution. Why don't I ride Bitcoin down? Bitcoin's going up. We just started the bull market phase of Bitcoin, So the next, whatever it is, 10 to 13 months are going to be quite right. I mean, why would you ride Bitcoin down? Because it's going up. The reason I'm not riding Bitcoin down is because it's going up. Look at that. And now I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, you have a lot of people probably who are Cash App brand oriented right now, but PayPal is going to be seeing, I believe, its quarterly earnings slowly starting to rise as well because of Bitcoin. Jordan said to stay neutral on the largest 1 week rally of November. Every analysis with a grain of salt. Either way, buddy, I understand your risk off perspective. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's, if that's what you're talking about, let's talk about that, So, right? So so this is like the difference. This is the difference between me and you. How about that, right? Everyone knows, whether it was on the Nasdaq or the S&P, we took some nice trades at this particular point on the market, right over here. It was both on the, and those weren't small trades. Those were more. That was better than most people do all year, and that was just a little bit of, that was just like, all right, here it was, and then we were coming into the election over here, and don't forget, Jordan here was like, go neutral. Do not short this thing. It's way too dangerous. But you don't take a long here going into this risk event also, because Jordan's risk averse, right? Jordan makes his money when it's easy to make the money. And then Jordan, when things are risk averse, like I don't need to be right? I need to make sure that I protect my money, the money that I make and win in the market. It's not about like making it and needing to make it all the time to prove myself correct. It's at, as time goes by, make sure that I keep increasing my stack. So yeah, I was neutral here, but if I wasn't neutral, I would have been an idiot. Yeah, you hear? I would have been an idiot to not in that type of risk event to be long equities or short equities for that matter. So I guess it's just the perspective and how you look at it, And it's really easy when someone's out there every day putting it all on the line. And by the way, there's over a year's worth of videos now, and you can see the accuracy across all the markets during that time. But someone's out there putting it out there in real time, and it's really easy. When Tom Brady makes a mistake, I could be like, look what I would have done. So if you're not risk averse, you're doing it wrong. Are you making a living from trading? I've been trading full time for over 20 years now. Yeah, but come on, guys. I mean, you with all due respect, the analysis speaks for itself. I know the quality of it. To be like, he missed this. No, I didn't miss that. I willfully stayed neutral on it, knowing the situation and knowing that I didn't want to take any type of risk when it's risky. And this presidential election, anyone who thought there would be a contested election and that the markets would be rising on that not myself. So my thoughts on Chainlink is that once it gets above $12.90, it will start a really severe strong move up, and then we'll be testing somewhere around 17, a little above $17, $18, and then eventually going on to yearly highs. Does that mean buy it right now? No, that doesn't mean buy it right now. Oh boy. So anyway, I don't want to even get caught up over there. I want to know what you guys are talking about, but I don't want to get caught up in the comments at the same time. So anyway, funny stuff, right? But I guess another thing that anyway, do I need to explain myself? Probably not, right? So, Mike, some of the mistakes that aspiring traders make, especially young kids, is that first of all, they don't yet have a working strategy or any consistency in the markets, and then they want to start trading, and not only that, they want to live off their expenses from trading. The problem with that, first of all, is then that they're trying not to make even a quarterly profit; they're trying to make monthly profit. And then the profit that they make, they're taking out of their trading accounts. It's like being on a vicious hamster wheel, only that you also have the pressure to perform more than is possible in order to meet the goals you've set for yourself. It's a doom loop. There's no way to do it. If you want to be successful in the markets, then what you need to do, obviously, trading on the 8-hour time frame, first of all, gives you the opportunity to have a high quality of life. It doesn't take too much time throughout your day. Now, of course, it takes time. You have to be putting your analysis in. You have to be doing your work. But the actual trading portion over the course of a week is very small. So you should be working full time. You should have some type of income that you're living off of as you continue to grow your account. There's no way you get to a big account if you keep pulling from it on your way up. As well, it's just not possible with the pressure you put on yourself. I mean, I didn't even want to say it's so silly. Like, look, I guess Thomas, and I guess I'm dressing because it's so silly. Either you know or you don't know. If you think for an instant that I have navigated these current waters anything less than masterfully, then you're just missing out. You're just so tainted that you can't do this. That you are just like looking. You're looking at like this beautiful, beautiful work of art, and you're like trying to find where one nail was hammered in wrongly. And that's fine. But if you want to talk about what's been going on, right, Thomas, there's no question about it. Not only have I had everyone positioned long, and don't forget, I am the one who, though always looking for my, advert, I never thought we would close the CME gap, right? Got everyone long, and I'm not even, I'm ridiculously long on Bitcoin, right? So there's that. That's right. So what are we looking at today? That was a little weird. I don't like when there's weirdness going on over here. I like when we got that like free friendly flow. But no, I don't really get to watch the comments when I'm going over the charts. It's Friday, I'm a little standstill, but like when I see a comment like that, no offense, I'm gonna respond to that. That's just way out there. There's something just fundamentally wrong with it. Yo, you think, Carlos, that I seem insecure? So, I mean, we have like 1,400 people in here that are probably in here every day. If anyone thinks that for a fact that I'm insecure, they're just reading the room completely wrong. Do you know, Carlos, do you know anyone more confident than myself? No. So, wow. All right. We're DXY and gold, by the way, Juan, if you're just joining us, we look at them every day. So the best analysis that you could get is going back on the live stream to where we looked at the DXY, and you get not only just a quick and clean overview of what was it, you'll have a very good understanding of what's going on. I know, Jad, I get it. I'm good. It just threw me where here I am. So man, I'm going to make sure my kids, by the way, are intellectually strong. Intellectually strong. We got so many weak minds out there today. And Craig, that was over 50% of my overall portfolio. Anyway, DXY looks like it's about to drop. Does the DXY look like it's about to drop? So my biggest concern right now is that it's Friday. I'm just taking off these comments. There you go. My biggest concern that it's Friday. We've seen some massive moves, whether you're talking about on the indexes, right? Or if you're talking about on gold and even Bitcoin this weekend. Now, I like how Bitcoin has passed the baton over to first Ethereum, and then it's now working its way down towards other altcoins. That's very healthy for the crypto markets. Crypto markets get an asterisk, but if you're looking at this move that has taken place here on the indexes in the last few days, it has come very far, very fast. There should be healthy profit taking occurring. And I can't imagine anyone wanting to hold long over the weekend. So it's not just with that. It's with the dollar. Has the dollar come down too far too quickly? Yeah. Like I said, we are looking for possibly this next, which would be a test of that trend line on the upside over there. Do not chase these moves is what I'm getting at and meant to get out, because they have come very far, very fast. All right. Now or we all have a pretty clear indication of which way these markets are breaking. And don't forget, I had been maintaining ever since, I guess, October, that it's a break above this trend line that could set off the next leg on the S&P 500. I was saying that even down here when everyone was talking about, was everyone not? We're not everyone. Was most everyone not talking about us crashing at this point? And did I not say it is too dangerous to short? That does not, and didn't I say, and I'm not going to take the long, you know? So I guess there's a difference between knowing when to pick your trades and just knowing what's going on. You always want to have that awareness of what's going on around you. It doesn't mean you need to participate. Above this next week, yeah, that opens up opportunity to try to get involved over here on what will be a technical break. By the way, if this does happen, right? Because we could, by the way, go seriously risk off this weekend. But if we get a breakout over here next week, you're not targeting the all-time high on the S&P 500. Would you take a small piece off? Yeah, but we're looking for a leg up, And the reason I say that is because right now, people, on gold also, like we just had a big technical breakout in a bull market here on gold. Now's the time when you're looking again, stimulus, possibly February, all talk turning to stimulus, what that looks like. You want to be riding that wave, not getting yourself into a perfect entry and then getting out way too soon. Isn't it really though, Gemma? I listened to it too. It's absolutely phenomenal. T Brown, man, just that alone makes my day. Thank you for that. Glad to hear that. Digital money. I mean, we could look at Bitcoin, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like everyone in this community, everyone on this community should have the strongest look at Bitcoin there is. Remember, and of course we're not proving it, but do remember when the whole I felt like a large part of the financial community, FinTwit, all of a sudden was like, oh, we're going longer Bitcoin cycle here. And I'm like, I don't think so. I actually think this is going to unfold faster. Bitcoin's trading just a couple of months ago at 10,000, and they're like, is your price target still 18,000? Yeah, I believe in setting targets that I believe that we'll achieve. If it goes higher, I feel like everyone should have probably the best understanding and awareness of Bitcoin. And if we don't, then I'm doing something wrong. But I really feel like everyone here has the best understanding of Bitcoin. And we could even go back to, remember over here, this was the last swing trade I called out on Bitcoin. And that was 40%, take a 40% gain. By the way, that was a 14% move. And then that was you're holding the other 60%. You're like, I don't know what else to do about that. I feel like everyone should have the best overview and look at Bitcoin. It's what I understand as I do, which is, why I have the bet I have on it. Is there? Again, this cycle should be shorter. There's evidence that this cycle is shorter. Just watch, Rob, if you haven't, just for the other side of the conversation. Do watch the last video I did that's on the Bitcoin playlist. It's how to trade the Bitcoin in the upcoming bull market phase. I give evidence to show that this cycle is not shorter, is not lengthening, but because the last cycle was longer than the first, I don't know if that's evidence for a lengthening cycle, personally. Yeah. Luigi, Bitcoin growth bot, the bot that I have for trading. I mean, it's holding right now an open equity of gains over 200%. That's going towards 4 digits soon enough. 2021 is going to be ballistic year. There you go, Rob. Rob, by the way, huge shout out, respect for why I see that you are considering all sides of the conversation and opinions. And that's exactly what you want to do, Rob. You want to, not take anyone's word from it, but you want to see people who say inflation. You want to see people that say, this is an example, deflation. And then you want the guy that's saying stagflation. And then you want to understand all the reasons why they're saying what they're saying. Gemma, good question. Gemma, great question. So anyway, Rob, I really admire that. And I think that one of the best things about the environment we all live in right now, with the opportunity to learn stuff on YouTube, with the opportunity to learn stuff and be a part of conversations on Twitter, is that we really get the opportunity to do that in so many different areas. So it's fantastic. Gemma, this is a really good question. Why trade Forex when Bitcoin and alts are in a bull run, right? Bora, have a beautiful weekend. Sorry about today's session. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. There you go. You articulated a lot better. Critical thinking all the way. So I want to talk about this, Gemma, for a couple of reasons. Number one, all right. So I want to talk about it because it's such a good and important question, and because I want to share my thoughts on it. All right. So number one, obviously, look, this opportunity, I believe, is one of the strongest opportunities that you will ever see in your lifetime in the markets. This opportunity that is happening, unfolding in Bitcoin right now. It's not that Bitcoin is trading at $15,000 on its way to new all-time highs, and I'm like, hey guys, you need to, on the playlist that I put together on the channel over here. This is just one video in the playlist. It outlines my whole thesis and understanding of the 4-year cycle and why. And I did that over a year ago during the bear market to get as many people involved in it as possible. By the way, December 2018 on my Twitter, you'll see there I called the bottom right there of that, right? So, the channel started in October. I've spent a lot of time, and then especially down over here, making sure that people were saying, hyperwave, we're going to 1,000 Bitcoin, right? Tone Vase, we're going. And I kept it's not like I'm just starting to tell you all about Bitcoin and what's going to happen. Actually, everything that I've been saying is playing out exactly as I outlaid it, right? So my focus, the majority of my efforts are behind that trade. They're behind that trade right now. Sorry about that. I got caught up in a comment over there. So I think that everyone here, and that's why I've said I'm looking forward to enjoying 2021 with all of you as we're just managing this one big trade and get to enjoy in that together. Look, I've made the case and I've tried to get family and my close siblings to invest in Bitcoin. It stinks that they're not invested, right? But why trade Forex? So first of all, if you had a certain, this is Jordan speaking. If I had, and a lot of people in the course are in this situation where they have X amount of money, right? And they've actually have taken the position in Bitcoin where maybe in just a short time, a year from now, that X amount of money has grown into actually something substantial. It's had a 10 to 15X on it. That's a big deal. They then are able to spend this next year really honing their craft, focusing on how to trade the markets, learning to have that consistency. And then, 12 months from now, have a sizable account where they could continue to generate that return. Don't forget, a 20%, 30% return yearly is massive to begin with. It's not the amount of gain that we're looking at. I mean, we've done 50% in the past 2 months, right? We're not talking about the same type of returns. But by myself looking at all the markets I look at every day, and by following them, that's we talk about edges in markets and lay out all the edges that we have. The greatest edge I have is that feel of the market. And if I just were to like follow Bitcoin price on my phone, that would be great, but I would lose my step in the markets. I would lose my edge. That edge comes from doing the analysis across all the markets and being able to like feel the breath of that overall organism together. I think that in this moment, why it's the smartest thing to do to have a decent position into Bitcoin, right? I also think it's crucial that you continue to learn how to focus in and trade the markets. Should you be trading altcoins now instead of FX? And look, I've always said, even when they were in the bear market, like I get it. I don't want to do it. If anyone is using conquering the markets to trade the altcoins, 100%. Especially once you start getting that momentum behind you, you just have to make sure you position all of your trades accordingly. We have massive moves over here that are happening, and if you're moving up 7%, this was also 2 days ago down 5%. So you have to manage the risk the same way that we manage risk in FX, the same exact way. So there's really no edge, in my opinion, in trading cryptocurrency over trading FX. Actually, there's a greater edge in trading FX, in my opinion. But if you're trading the altcoins and you're just using correct, position sizing and risk management, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if that's where your interest is. If that's where your interest is, then that's good. I support that. Alan, have a good weekend. What a weird sesh. What do you guys want to talk about? It's Friday. We could do it every. No, I don't. I think if you're I don't look, Jad. I follow price. Price is the only leading indicator there is in the markets. I follow price. I follow it off of the market structure. The market structures itself around support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. It's the biggest edge you could ever find in the market. You could follow those TD traders, and they have like, I know Tony Vase uses that, and it hasn't worked out so well. That's right. That's a great reminder over here. Be prepared, right, for multiple 30% pullbacks. And even in the last bull market, we did have a 40% pullback. About gold. So it's hard to understand right now, right? So I think people should, my thoughts on gold is simple. I love gold. I'm not one of those people. I could understand why Bitcoiners who are really forward thinking, make the case gold over Bitcoin over gold in a second. But the fact of the matter is that central banks are holding gold, right? And not only that, we're coming towards some type of reset. And at the end of the day, it's going to be whoever has the gold gets to sit at the table and have a say in what that new system looks like. I do see gold being repriced at some point. I see gold being, it's suppressed right now. It's manipulated. I see it being repriced upwards at some point. Could I see in a reasonable amount of time $3,000 gold or $5,000 gold? That would not surprise me whatsoever. Could I put a time frame on that? Absolutely not. Do I think right now over the next year it makes more sense in holding gold or Bitcoin? There's not even a question, Like Raul, and I enjoy listening to Raul's thoughts. He's like, he's got a tiny gold position on, a huge Bitcoin position on. Sound familiar? And he's thinking of selling the rest of his gold to buy Bitcoin. Holding gold right now over Bitcoin, it does not make any sense to me. And I'm not talking about having, a core physical position of gold. And It's just that right now, a lot of gold investors, they're going to see what's happening on the charts as Bitcoin continues to massively outperform gold. And those traders, the traders, not the investors, are going to be moving into Bitcoin. Chris, you could use that, or you could use the web form on the website. It's a must watch, Gemma. I think everybody should watch the one on yes with Raoul Pal on Real Vision of the CEO Michael Seiler of MicroStrategy. It's absolutely amazing. Thoughts about cannabis stocks? I mean, why? Right? I don't know, but why? I, I think that those are just off of complete hype and speculation. I don't know. Is that really where you want to focus your money? So it's Friday, so normally don't go over the charts over here. I wanted to talk about the Euro Japanese yen for a minute, though. I definitely wanted to talk about that. And this came up this morning, and look, someone took a short here. Let's talk about this right now. First of all, this clearly looks like to me that you're seeing a bear flag right over there. And the trend is down, right? Bear flag is usually a negative event that you, on a breakdown, you could start getting involved with. Would you take an entry over here, like into the support? No, right? So the entry on any type of consolidation like this is one of two ways. You know, towards the top end of the resistance, you could look for entries, you know. However, the risk to reward is good enough going into the area of support where it makes sense. You have to ask yourself, is that the entry that you want to make here right now? For me, it would definitely be no. But the entry that the clear signal is once you break down out of the bear flag, and then you're looking to go short. So it's clear to see that right now this is trading in a bear flag, but this is not something that I would want to be focusing my attention on. Like, definitely the way to go about it is by doing your analysis across all of your different instruments. And whether it's altcoins or currency pairs, that's irrelevant. But then you want to pick what you believe is offering the best opportunity. So many times I've talked about if you're a surfer watching the waves, and then you're waiting for a set of waves to come in. That's how the ocean works. Waves come in sets, and then you're trying to find the one wave out of that set that you think offers the best opportunity. This is a wave. I could see it forming. I know what it is, but this is not where I want to focus my time and or capital right now. What about, I want to see what's going on with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. It's the only thing that's been weird to me this week is the fact that you've seen a lot of risk on, including the Australian dollar. I want to look. That's the only thing I wanted to look at today. The Australian dollar pairs. We're gonna do that, I guess, right now. But the Japanese yen has not been weak, so that doesn't add up for me. We don't have the currency markets affirming everything else. It's almost as if the Japanese yen is just waiting and is just waiting because could we go risk off really quickly right now? Of course we can. Is Trump going to concede if he believes that he was cheated? Absolutely not. That does not seem like the Donald Trump we all know, right? So this thing could get messy, and I have no idea what the market is going to do. So weird to me that the yen is not participating. Let me look at some other Australian dollar pairs, right? This was the trend line we were following across all pairs, and we were saying weakness, and then I was looking for the break, right? So this is a pullback on the Australian dollar Swiss franc after the breakout. I don't see any edge over here really on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. And similar here, I mean, I have that breakout starting this new upward impulse. I believe that right now on the Australian dollar going into next week, assuming that this current sentiment of the market continues, the Australian dollar could offer some of the best trades next week in FX. But today's Friday. I'm not going over the charts because there's no lead here. There's nothing to see. But if you remember 2 weeks ago on the weekend, I put out that Forex video on the daily time frame going over all FX pairs that were set up going into Monday. That I will do this weekend. I will do that this weekend. Yeah, MicroStrategy stock. I mean, look, what is MicroStrategy up? They must be up over like $150 million since they took out that made that investment into Bitcoin. On the long term, over the next 12 months, is MicroStrategy stock going to be some type of is it going to have some type of correlation to the price of Bitcoin? I imagine so. Would I prefer MicroStrategy stock over Bitcoin? No, I wouldn't personally. So Bitcoin right now, if you were looking to trade it, so again, we're gonna just talk about really quick. Bitcoin's trading at 15,400, right? You could see that coming perfectly into that resistance. If you're trading Bitcoin right now, what time frame do you want to be on? Is it the 8 hour? That's all debatable. So if we hold over here and resume out of here, the easy signal for the resumption is this right here. Above that would signal that we're resuming out and it's time to take a long on Bitcoin, although be it with a tight stop loss, right? With a tight stop loss. And where would that stop loss be? Are we seeing this, right? Here's the last. This was the retest into the resistance, and then we actually came all the way down, went down, and then broke up. That was the resumption. So do you put something below that last swing low? Like this would be, around there, around 14,800. That's a safe stop loss. Where if we trade below that, then I would say there's a strong possibility we're coming back down towards 14, right? Probably breaking that last wick over there, and then we'll have to. I don't know what's going to happen. So I would say I'm pretty wrong right over here. If I got an entry breaking out over there, right? And what would I be targeting on the upside? Into that next resistance. I get what is it, 16,800? You can't really see it on there. So that's how I would approach the next move on Bitcoin. However, I mean, I'm obviously remain uber bullish on Bitcoin, especially maybe I won't be able to pull it up. It was in the video I did though, but I want to see if I could pull it up. One more second. This is it right here. Look, we just, on the monthly, every time Bitcoin this is the monthly, these are monthly candles. And every time Bitcoin closes above the last monthly high, it's been on average, let's call it 30, 35 days before Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. It happened here. It happened then again over here. Is it going to happen again now on Bitcoin? I mean, there's a good possibility people are looking at 15, 16,000 Bitcoin and think that it's really high. And then I had a bunch of people and a bunch of friends yesterday being like, okay, is it time to get back into Bitcoin? So and those are people that were very involved in the last Bitcoin bull market and alt cycle. So before you start seeing Bitcoin at new all-time highs, you're now starting to get those type of people that are getting attracted to Bitcoin. You're going to see a massive amount of FOMO into Bitcoin as it breaks above new all-time highs. I know my target's only 18,000 by December, and that was because, again, I wanted to make sure that I put out a number that we hit, right? Well, I don't think Bitcoin makes new all-time highs into 2021, but if it did, I would not be surprised at all. And I think that 1560 is not at a price where I'm like, oh, it's gone too far too fast. It's actually right on time. So it's not at a price where I'm like, and maybe if we were trading at 23 in 2020, I'd be like, well, I think we've gone too far too fast. I'm going to take some off the table, right? Because even if we go to 30,000 and then have a 30% pullback, I'm still getting back in just at a safer entry. I don't see that right now, personally, Ooh, Dan, what are my thoughts on how AI will affect trading in the future? So, really interesting. So, first of all, I think it's really important if you're talking about AI to talk also about machine learning. And what we see now is it is machine learning. You code some type of algorithm into the computer, and then it continues to better or improve on itself as the more data it receives. Right now, there is no AI. In the future, will there be an AI? And probably, right? Almost everything that happens in science fiction becomes reality. How will that will affect trading in the future? Oh wow! There's a wonderful movie on Netflix, a documentary about the game of Go. And these guys out of the UK developed this. We'll call it AI, even though it's not really AI. Just an important distinction. They developed this computer that was able to learn how to play Go by playing itself, right? And it was able to. Long story short, you ready? They developed the first version and they taught it how to play Go, and it was able to beat the best people, the best Go masters in the world, handedly. They then developed a new version that was able to teach itself how to play by playing versus itself. It then destroyed the first version, and is by far greater than any other human that plays Go out there. So what do I think will happen with AI and trading? That there's no question that the machines will be able to well outperform us. Not even close. Not even close. Because we just can't compete. You're talking about Go is it more complicated than the markets? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. You do also have Simmons Fund. It's called I forgot what it's not Bridgewater. What's the other one? Remnants Technologies, something like that. Renaissance Technologies. They use all machine learning. They have the best performing fund on the face of the planet. So. No, Andrew. No. At the top of this bull market, I will be exiting the vast majority of my Bitcoin position. I will hold on to a small amount just in case. That's insurance. Probably something like 5% of my position, right? But I will not be holding on through the bear market. I will be selling at as close as I can to the top of the bull market, and then I will be looking to reaccumulate back in 15 months exactly to the next halving at what was going to be right around the low of this bear market phase, and that's going to greatly increase my Bitcoin overall position by a large factor. Stefan, there is some pretty good work pretty great work on this channel on the Bitcoin playlist. Do watch it. It's absolutely, I highly recommend it. Would I would I buy Bitcoin on Robinhood? Could you transfer Bitcoin off of Robinhood? If you can transfer Bitcoin off of Robinhood, then I wouldn't buy it on Robinhood. But I would buy Bitcoin on an exchange. Nickel looks just looks super healthy until they get that until they start mining those asteroids. Nickels looks like it has a pretty big and bright future. You could see it over here, and nickel is the thing that we did look at the 3-day though, right? You could see that after coming into the resistance, it's now back into that local support, resuming off of it. It looks like a good swing entry on nickel. So Matt, first of all, last Saturday, I uploaded a really important video on Bitcoin. If you haven't seen it, I guarantee it'll be the most important video you watch all week on Bitcoin. No question about it. But we're not. We're many months away before exiting the trade, and the world we live in a year from now will look a lot different than it does today. So it's not possible to say a year, what I will be exiting into right now. That will be the conversation as I talk about when I'm exiting and why I'm exiting. We're also going to be talking about what I personally am positioning myself into. So it's just not the time to have that conversation right now. We're just starting the bull market. We haven't even took out the all-time high on Bitcoin. My thoughts on oil, by the way, have been very. I mean, first of all, one of our best trades all year long has been on riding oil down this year. 2020 is just the year of so many fantastic trades. Oil was one of them. My position on oil has been for a while now. When I say a while, it has been ever since ever since June, just to stay away from oil, that it was going nowhere. And actually, it has gone absolutely nowhere. There are so many beautiful markets, and oil is not one of them right now. There's no reason to get yourself stuck in a sideways market. So again, you're looking for. Thank you. We got 60,000 subs. That's huge. Thank you for that. And Sam, that's just right? Just going to cash on BlockFi, collecting that interest while you wait to position back in to Bitcoin at the time it's time to accumulate. I mean, that's just and often the simplest option is the best, right? That alone is absolute perfection and all that you need. Sometimes the simplest option is the best, and that alone is enough. And if you do the math, let's just for example, let's say you just take one Bitcoin, right? And say you exited at $140,000, and then buy back in at 35,000, and look how much you've increased your stack. When's the next entry on Ethereum? I don't know. You're coming right now into a little bit of that resistance right over here. We call it at $445, right? Look, you gotta. There's no entry here right now on Ethereum. You gotta wait. There's just no entry that I see right now on Ethereum, right? I've said for a long time, 500 could come quickly, but I don't see an entry right now on Ethereum. I don't know if it's the best. I own some though. I don't know if it's the best, but I own some. I think when you're looking about things that affect Bitcoin, I think you're looking at, Square purchasing 50 million Bitcoins for their balance sheet. MicroStrategy purchasing $450 million worth. I think those are the things. PayPal beginning to accept Bitcoin. Those are the signals on Bitcoin that I'm looking at. And not only did Square purchase the Bitcoin, they also showed other public companies what they need to do in order to go through that process with their board. They laid out the instruction manual. Every single board across America is probably having the conversation right now of whether or not they need to, diversify into Bitcoin. And, they don't move as quickly as you can. By the time that they start doing that, is Bitcoin going to be trading between 20, 30, 40, $50,000? I mean, so why would you invest in Litecoin? I have a lot of friends who are like emotionally tied to Litecoin because in the last alt season they did very well on Litecoin. But why are you investing into Litecoin, and why would you choose Litecoin over Bitcoin? Do you think that Litecoin is a better proposition than Bitcoin? I don't at all. I can't imagine. Ethereum, I get. Ethereum, if it's able to work out, there's a lot of upside here right now on Ethereum. Monero, I get. Huge use case here for privacy. Chainlink, I get. XRP, no, I don't get it. EOS, no, I don't get it. Litecoin, I personally don't get it. I think that the market would eat up $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. If you look at, by the way, if you look at Grayscale alone, they're purchasing 3 times the amount of Bitcoin being mined currently. I mean, it depends. I mean, like capital gains is not a big deal, right? I don't understand why people have no problem paying tax when it comes to other investments, but when it comes to Bitcoin, they're like, I mean, tax is tax. It's not a big deal, right? That's right. XRP. EOS is reinventing the wheel. I mean, look, there's no question that you could get some type of protocol that catches on, and that's a big home run. Do I think that like investing? I laid out the video on the cryptocurrency. Do I think it's smart investing in a portfolio of altcoins, whether it's the top 10 or top 30 or top 7? They're going to outperform Bitcoin by a factor of like 4. Makes more sense to me to be lightly leveraged into Bitcoin. I mean, the course is there was someone, I took a screenshot. It's been a busy week. I haven't a chance to post it, but they took a $15,000 Australian dollar course, and before they discovered myself, and then just now absorb my content, learn way much more from myself than in that course that they paid 50, and stop that course. That's just my free analysis. That's not just my, that's not even the course. The course costs next to nothing. I don't think you could put a price on it. It's absolutely an invaluable asset for anyone. How many hours? I have no idea. I suppose there's something like 25 modules, but after you complete the modules, you've just begun the course. So that's hard to say. And then there's countless hours of on the Conquering the Markets recommended playlist, including all our live trading sessions. It's just unbelievable. When will the alt separate from Bitcoin? I mean, they're kind of like a month behind from what I had gathered. I thought it was 6 months after the halving that alt season could start. Now, looking back, we'll be able to be like, oh yeah, it started then, but it was a little. I was a little off in my opinion. But as Bitcoin starts making new all-time highs, that's when the speculation really will begin in the alts, because it's going to be the same story over and over again. My mom is going to be watching Good Morning America, and they're going to be talking about Bitcoin trading at $22,000. She can be like, that Bitcoin again? Oh man. But it's too expensive. So let me buy some XRP that's trading at a quarter, because if it goes to $1, I can make more money, and then alt speculation will start. So where are we at today? Me too. I absolutely love the markets. I'm right there with you, Mohammed. I love the markets. Kenny, I mean, and this learning is so beautiful. It really is. It's so beautiful. I mean, I could do a better job trying to promote I don't, because there's no need. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The environment that you all have created inside the Telegram group, the knowledge, the conversations I get to be a part of and or listen in on are absolutely just wonderful. As it is here, right here on this YouTube channel, the community we have here is absolutely amazing. I have a working strategy, if Mohammed. It's just that simple, but I'm not trying to push anyone. Awesome, Julie. So if you all remember, by the way, I just wanna let you know, right? Because over here, it was all the way back over here now. Or was it over here? I don't remember. No, it was over here, right? I took out a loan on BlockFi against my Bitcoin holdings and basically doubled up my Bitcoin stack. As we get towards $18,000, $19,000, $20,000, I'll be looking to do that again. And by the way, you could also then just basically reorganize the terms of your loan. If you took out a loan when Bitcoin was trading at 13,000, and then it goes to trace to 20,000, you could readjust your loan now on the current value of what it is. I feel like I've saw this on Twitter a lot over the last 48 hours, and people are saying as Bitcoin pumps, you always wish you had more. And no, the course, Brian, there's not. The course is basically given away for next to nothing. Nope. The course is basically provided at such a price that it's just like so that you're committing yourself. Absolutely not. That thing is no way. You can't even say over delivers. Hi. Oh, sorry about that. I have to say, I do not feel that way whatsoever. I feel that I am perfectly positioned into Bitcoin ahead of the move, exactly as I planned and wanted to. So there's another question I saw over here. That's all. We're just here to make it for everyone to navigate easier. It's just so much better taking everyone along with you. Max, wouldn't it be hard to attend to every student that you have in the course, and wouldn't it cause confusion? No, we have a really, really good thing going on. Um, Look, if you're interested in the markets, I can't imagine a better resource for yourself. It's unbelievable, and that's all I could say. I could not imagine a better resource for yourself. It's that simple. Lots of FOMO going on. No, I don't own Miguel. I do not own lots of real estate at all. That was a confusion. You know, we own a property. We own our property. But the question is, a friend of mine told you that he should wait for the housing market to crash before buying, since there's a wave of defaults coming. Thoughts, Miguel? It's one of the most important questions on my mind. Look, here's the thing, and if you start really getting into Bitcoin and real estate, if you're afraid to pay, uh, um, uh, man, I forgot, not income tax, carry gains. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my head. Look, on real estate, I believe the future is going to be they're going to keep increasing taxes and property taxes. It's going to be the only way they could get money from the people as governments are running out of ways to collect taxes over here. They're going to be raising taxes. They're going to be raising taxes on real estate. That's probably going to be a negative for real estate. But again, it's in January that the CARES Act runs out. And then people that were not paying their mortgage and rents for landlords, they have to not only start repaying, but pay back everything that they didn't pay for the past few months. So I don't know how that's possible. Are we going to see a big wave of defaults? I definitely think so, but I think it's very regional. It depends on where you live. There are parts of this country that are just seeing an explosion of movement to those areas, and those markets are still hot. You can't even buy furniture. It's back ordered for months right now in those areas. Now you have other areas like the cities, which you're seeing rents going down. The one thing that worries me, for example, over in Vail, Colorado, you've seen real estate prices increase by a factor of like 200% just in 1 to 3 years. And that's insane, and that could continue going like that before those wave of defaults starts. So that's a coin toss. It's something I'm watching, and I could envision a situation where we do start seeing, some defaults really starting to weigh on the market, but at the same time, it's become very localized. So that's a good comment right over here, by the way. Now, Caleb, I don't speak on the phone with people or do like video conference. I don't have the time. It's not possible. It's absolutely not possible to do that. Sorry, brother. I'm sure that actually I'd probably love to sit down with you, not only have a coffee or a drink together. I know that we have a lot in common and would have a really good time together. Hopefully, sometime next year we do like a conquering the markets meetup. That will be really fun, but it's not possible. They're just I just can't do that. Let's check it out right now. I have no idea. You will let them pass. ASX 200. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, we're frozen over here. There we go. Is this we're looking at the ASX 200 over here? This weekly chart over here. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look good to me. To me, it doesn't look good, right? You know, first of all, you have the U.S. equity markets, which are getting ready possibly for the next break up. Possibly, if they break out of everything that we're looking at, and then we could be looking at challenging new all-time highs. This thing is like 50% off the yearly highs over here. It looks to me like you might even be seeing this type of this. Is that a bear flag? It looks like one. You know, getting above here and outside that pattern, then there would be a little bit more upside with some heavy resistance above, right around here. But that doesn't seem like where I would want to be putting my time, attention, and or money personally. Capital gains. There it is. Yeah. And Jesse, we have one more on the way. We have wonderful news. We have one more on the way. So it's true. You know, 100 million% devoted to this community. No question about that. But at the same time, it's just not possible to do phone calls like that. That's what we're talking about. We got some of the best. We got to find the best tacos in the country, and that's where we got to have the meetup. That's the only way to do it. Yeah, I don't know. We might. I mean, whiskey's all good, but we might need to do like Mexican style mezcal and tequila. Thank you. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Gene. Thanks, Jesse. That was inspired by your comment over there. It's very, very excited. You too. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Another baby. Yes, Bruce. Another gift of life. Bitcoin that's held for over 1 year is taxed as capital gains. If you buy or sell that within the year, it's taxed as ordinary income. So it makes a whole lot of sense to understand the Bitcoin cycles and make your holdings around that. We're looking at sometime at the end of May or early June. Tequilas. I'm a mezcal guy. We'll go with both. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, discuss? There were a lot of things that I saw. A couple of things, by the way. I saw someone was looking. Thank you, Gemma. Oh, if it's a girl, it just might be Gemma. XJO. Paul, what are you looking for? Let's take a look at that. The same exact thing, though. Look at that. It's the same exact thing. That's awesome for Love Club. That's awesome. That's going to be like, you know, after we exit out, after we have that beautiful conversation about best thing to position into, you know, probably towards the end of 2021, we'll be talking about it, planning something nicely. Chris, me too, man. Have a beautiful weekend. We're gonna cut it here, but with the one caveat that this weekend I will be looking to share a video going over FX currency pairs into next week, setting up, you know, my game plan. Because next week, I think this week I stood aside the whole week on FX, next week, I'm roaring to go. So I'm going to be doing my own homework, and I will share that with you. What is the Elon Musk way of creating a name? By the way, Elon Musk has this awesome school that he developed for his kids. You have to be 8 and above, but I can't wait to get my kids into that. Jordan, with what news with the election do you think would most send the market down? Um, I don't know. You know, I don't know that the market's going down. The market looks like it's going up. I'm looking here for the market to give us a buy signal over here, breaking above this. But you know, let's see what happens. If I have no idea, I'm not. Anything could happen, and who knows what's going to happen? Is it possible that Biden declares victory, and then all of a sudden Trump won't concede, and then there's a court ruling that they're going to recount, or like in Pennsylvania or Georgia, and could things change, and how the market will price all that in? I have no idea. But I do know it's Friday, right? I do know it's Friday. The election, I mean, so also, by the way, if you're not familiar with the Podesta, the leader of the Democratic Party, he wargamed this whole situation. And this is just playing out 100% exactly as they had all planned this out. But anyway, we'll just watch and wait and see what happens. If at any point in time Donald Trump believes that he has fairly lost, I'm sure that he will concede, and then the markets would probably be happy about that. All I could say is over here, I was like, look, the market, it's too dangerous to go short. The markets go up, but there's no way I would take that trade, right? And during this ultra high risk event, stood away from the markets. I don't think that here's a place to take a trade on a Friday. Let's see what happens next week. Rather than trying to figure out what's going to happen if this or that happens, it's so much better as a trader to watch what happens and then look how the market's reacting and trade around that. It's just like the other way is backwards, and we all I know I used to try to do it. What is this? What is the outcome of this going to be? And if I position like this, what will happen? No. What happened? How's the market reacting? And that's how I then want to trade around. So just keep watching. Infinity. Forever and ever. 6 trades next week? No way. So there was a ruling out of Pennsylvania that Trump won, and that ruling was that observers were allowed to observe the count, right? Because they were kicked out of Pennsylvania, the Republican observers, and then they went to court, and the judge ruled that those observers have the right to be there. And then that is being challenged. That's being appealed, that ruling, that observers should be able to observe. Are you okay with that? Because I feel like observers should be able to observe, right? So why they are appealing that ruling, that's strange for me. And I think it should be for any American. I think that we all agree that we want fair, transparent elections, which includes the right for each party to observe the process. But that is being appealed as we speak, that people should be allowed to observe that in Pennsylvania. So no, it's an ongoing situation. I myself cannot predict the future and have no idea how it's all going to play out. And I'm waiting and watching for it to play out and for the market's reaction. However, if we get a big technical break outside of this upside, then that's something that you participate in. Right? So, all right, everyone. We almost 800 likes is a lot. I'm not happy with the session. It's not often I'm not happy with the session, right? But I'm not. But that's okay. It's more often than not. I'm so happy with what we're doing in here. The flow wasn't there today. That's fine. It's a Friday. Next week's going to be strong. Am I a Trump man? No. I mean, am I a Trump man? No, I'm not a Trump man. But I am for sure. I'm a patriot as far as I'm an American, and I believe in life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I believe, as I'm watching other people from overseas look at our elections, and they're like, wait, that happened to my country, and that's not. We need to have fairness. I'm all about justice. I'm a Bitcoin man. That is true. And that's it. All of us just want fairness, right? And every vote should count. Every legal vote should count. No question about it. The seminary, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. One of the happiest and best experiences of my life. But I do have to say, for many years, I used to fight the call to go to the seminary. I was scared of it, didn't want to do it. And then finally I was like, okay, God, if this is what you want from me, I will do it because I give you everything. But my greatest desire was always marriage and family. And I feel like after giving everything to him, that he then gave me my heart's greatest desire. And let me tell you something. In my opinion, being a religious, being a priest is a very easy life. Marriage and family, that's the hard stuff, right? If you're looking for a big cross, it's marriage and family. But what an honor to be able to carry that cross. What a joy. I couldn't be happy. I feel I'm extraordinarily blessed. Well, wait, but that's how the system works, that there are observers. MC, you don't feel comfortable with observers. You want the system to play out, but that's how the system works. The system has always been as such that there are observers to make sure that there is no fraud taking place. So to not be comfortable with that, that's something that I can't get on board with. But look, we all see things differently, I guess, crazy skates. And it's not even legal. It's just how the system works. It's how could you not have observers? You're talking about one of the most powerful positions in the world. If you don't think that you'll have people from all sides trying to connive and to fraudulently gain to their advantage, then you are not understanding humans and human nature. That's all right. That's Al. AI. We're going to go out on that, Al. That's the way to go out. God bless you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Let's get some music on over there. I don't know if I should say it or not. I do apologize for the session. I don't feel like I was on top of my game. Up next one. It's Pennsylvania. It's hard to have a discussion, but I'm trying to have a discussion. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.